Roll A, take A.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Cassie Simmons.
And I'm Zach Perhatch. For the next 30 minutes, we'll bring you stories making headlines at Virginia Tech and in the New River Valley. In the first half of our newscast, we'll look at specifically stories related to Virginia Tech campus and community.
And later in the show, we'll turn our attention to news around to the New River Valley area, such as a look at new vendor requirements at a local farmer's market and how a popular trail is prepped and maintained when the seasons change. Over 35 million people across the world are in need of a prosthetic device, according to the World Health Organization. Virginia Tech students are working with a local nonprofit organization to help solve this problem. Newsfeed reporter Billy Parvitam tells us more.
Hope to Walk is a local nonprofit organization dedicated to creating affordable prosthetic legs for amputees. Founded in 2013, the organization specifically provides legs in developing countries at no cost to the patient while also training locals in the community on how to construct it. Virginia Tech senior Allison Burns got involved with Hope to Walk her sophomore year and represented them on homecoming court this semester. She believes the group's proximity and its distinct focus helped in the success of her campaign.
But also through the process, we were able to raise over $3,000, so like over 30 legs, prosthetic legs, were able to be donated back to Hope to Walk.
The legs are made of materials that can be found in a hardware store, including PVC pipes, wood, and welding tools. Virginia Tech junior Brooke Merriman is currently involved in a research project where the goal is to create above-the-knee prosthetics.
We're now in the process of completing the building of the new design or redesign of it, and hopefully we'll be able to bring it to Peru in January 2019. And then if that works out well, we'll be able to show it to Hope to Walk and see if they want to take it and run with it.
Ultimately, Burns believes Hope to Walk has made an impact on Virginia Tech's campus.
I think people really liked being able to feel like they could be involved and make an impact more than just a vote.
Now, if Allison had won Homecoming Queen, she would have had a workshop where Virginia Tech students could help build the prosthetic legs. However, because she got an outpouring of support, Hope to Walk has agreed to fund the workshop this upcoming spring. Further details are not yet known as of this time. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Billy Parvitam.
A Virginia Tech cadet has made a miraculous recovery after a dreadful accident that could have left him paralyzed. He was told he may never walk again, but he beat the odds. 2 years ago, Virginia Tech student and cadet Christian Elmer was hiking at the popular Cascade Falls in Giles County, Virginia, when he slipped and fell off the top. When Elmer landed, he had broken his right hip, both of his elbows, and his neck. It took slickwater rescue crews 3 hours to reach him at the falls. After surgery, Elmer began his recovery process. Within weeks, he was walking, and just 4 months later, he was lifting weights in the gym again. Last fall, he was officially cleared by the Army to be medically eligible for service. Recently, he received his assignment in the Army, a moment that, to Elmer, seemed impossible just a few months earlier.
And you tell them there's 17 jobs you can have in the Army, and you rank them 1 through 17. And they'll look at your merit list, and they rank you compared to everyone in the nation who's getting their job that year. Yeah, so it's really nerve-wracking. So I ripped open the thing, and I got selected to be an EOD technician.
Elmer is set to graduate this month and begins work as an explosive ordnance disposal technician in the Army next summer in Richmond, Virginia. Tech's Corps of Cadets Extreme Sports team has new leadership plans, and with the changes, the team anticipates growing bigger than ever. Virginia Tech's Extreme Sports team began in the fall of 2018. The team encompasses all of the physical training groups within the Corps of Cadets. The program is designed to prepare cadets for the physical training and testing associated with elite military teams. Some of the most well-known include the Marine Corps Raiders, Army Rangers, and Navy SEALs.
My responsibility at the battalion staff is I'm actually working with one of our officers in the Corps Cadets to continue to develop this initiative on the Corps side of the house and also on the university side of the house.
In the upcoming spring semester, the newly appointed team leader says he'll plan to grow the team by participating in a national Tough Mudder style competition and even prepare the team to host one for the state of Virginia.
In other news, sex trafficking is something most people do not think about every day. However, it surprisingly impacts more people than we may realize. Interstate 81 may seem like an unusual location for people to be trafficked, but reports state that it is one of the most common places for it to happen. The widely used interstate is just 10 minutes from Virginia Tech's campus and has become a known highway for human trafficking. Virginia Tech's student-run organization, It Happens Here, has a plan to promote awareness about this issue.
But there still are so many people that don't understand like the gravity of it or how horrible it is or how rampant it is. And so like awareness is the foundation of all that stuff coming to light. Like if no one knows, it's going to keep happening.
People looking to help with this issue may want to become more informed and help organizations that provide aid to victims. Street Ransom, an organization in Roanoke, provides home to those who have been forced into sex trafficking and escaped. With the weather this season changing unexpectedly, preparing your home for unpredictable temperatures is something that Tech students and Blacksburg residents have to consider.
But how do students in some Virginia Tech residence halls with no climate control stay comfortable in their rooms? Newsfeed reporter Maddie Thompson tells us more in this next story.
There are 26 residence halls on Virginia Tech's campus. Only 7 of those have climate control technology. Freshman Kelly Mogensen lives in Slusher Hall, and during the summer months, that meant she had a fan blowing constantly. And in the winter, her fan is still blowing.
We always keep our door open too, which allows a lot of cool air to flow through, and have a lot of fans going. But one thing about keeping the door open is if you're trying to study and do work in your room and there's noise going on in the hallway, you don't want to be rude, hey, I'm doing homework, but they would just say, close your door. It's too hot. Just finding where a good study spot too, just because I can't focus if I'm not comfortable in a setting.
Residence halls like Slusher have electric heat that's turned on by housing and residence life, whether students like it or not. The university hasn't switched over to all climate-controlled residence halls because of the high costs.
Those piping systems sometimes to reconfigure them for that type of HVAC system can cost millions.
According to Mogensen, the constant battle between the temperature outside and the temperature inside can be downright annoying and can affect study habits. Despite all this, however, Mogensen says she wouldn't change her experience. This is Maddie Thompson reporting for the Newsfeed.
Stay with us. There's more just ahead on this special edition of the Newsfeed.
Coming up, a look at how Virginia Tech is soaring to new levels in its efforts to help students who are underrepresented and underserved.
And we'll find out what's behind the politics of Asian American food. Those stories and more after this break.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. I'm Cassie Simmons.
And I'm Zach Perhatch.
The Asian American Coalition is an organization at Virginia Tech filled with students who strive for social change.
The group focuses on Asian culture in America through various activities such as conversations about social topics. One topic the group recently delved into was the nuance of Asian food in America. Members gathered to discuss the commodification of Asian dishes such as orange chicken, General Tso's, and dishes called Buddha bowls. The group shared the histories of these dishes while also sampling them and talking about why these so-called authentic dishes may appeal to American consumers. They also discussed how these dishes have changed from the original country's recipe, which makes them less authentic. The organization's secretary, Leon Joseph, explains how people can be more aware of the type of Asian dishes they eat.
Kind of shifting that cultural attitude towards appreciation of food just starts with, asking questions and being open-minded to learning about where that food came from, the history, the labor that's involved with it.
The Asian American Coalition is open to anyone. The Virginia Tech group welcomes those who would like to begin or participate in social dialogue. It's not a secret that Virginia Tech is continuing to make efforts in creating a more diverse and inclusive campus. As Newsfeed reporter Allison Turner tells us in this next story, the shift on campus is a result of President Timothy Sand's vision called Beyond Boundaries.
The Office for Inclusion and Diversity is a key to Virginia Tech's success as it works to increase its representation among two dynamic groups of students.
2022, we're hoping to see an increase in student representation, 25% increase in underrepresented students, and a 15% increase in underserved students. So the question is, how do we retain them once we get here? And SOAR is the missing piece to that puzzle.
Underrepresented students are classified by their race and ethnicity. Underserved students include those who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds and veterans. The Student Opportunity and Achievement Resources Program will lay the foundation for success. A student's comfort at a university impacts their success. Virginia Tech hopes to make sure every student feels at home on this campus. However, students are aware of problems on campus and hope that SOAR's work will help to eliminate them.
I think the main problem nowadays is like communication, also especially since Virginia Tech is so big, there are so many communities, but at the same time it's difficult to get to know what exists.
SOAR has spent its first semester on campus talking to students about how it works to serve. Most conversations have taken place to identify exactly which method of communication works best for the students. Students can expect more from SOAR as it transitions from a program to a center in the near future. This is Allison Turner reporting for the Newsfeed.
Virginia Tech is seeing growth in other areas around campus as well. The Pamplin College of Business's student-run advertising agency, PRISM, is flourishing. PRISM is an organization open to all at Virginia Tech, students who have an interest in gaining experience in advertising, social media, and marketing. The members of the organization serve on different teams, including the accounts, social media, and creative teams. With just 9 years under its belt, PRISM has gained an impressive client base with brands ranging from Smithfield Foods, Future House, and even their very own Pamplin.
It really has evolved for the type of clients we get, and so the caliber of clients we get makes the caliber of our work go up, because we want to impress and we want to show them that they weren't mistaken by what they've seen.
PRISM has hopes of expanding and providing more than just marketing skills. The group is looking to add more graphic and animation aspects to its team in the future. During this time of year, most college students around the country are finishing out the semester with final exams, and Virginia Tech is no exception. But for some Virginia Tech majors, there's more than just finals than just taking a test. Newsfeed reporter Justin Keene tells us more.
While most students have finals on their mind this time of year, performing arts majors are facing unique challenges, their final performances, and their upcoming audition season. While Virginia Tech is known as a STEM school, there is a group of 250 students dedicated to learning the arts. The end of the semester is a critical time for these majors. The students are all competing for a handful of spaces in each select group. Theater major Reese Gidner shares how her theater finals compare to her animal science finals.
I need to put work into my performances and prep them, whereas in a lot of my big science lecture classes, I need to just sit down and study.
Performing arts majors at Tech face challenges outside the classroom as well. Stephen Arnold, a senior music major, shares his experience.
People will be like, well, what do you do? I go to Virginia Tech. And they're like, oh, engineering? It's like, no, I'm a music major. And they're like, why are you doing that?
But despite being a tech school, both Stephen and Reese agree that the arts are still very important.
Music is a form of communication. And by not having that form of communication, then you feel there's an absence there.
The arts are an outlet and where you can learn life skills, public speaking, communication. Even if you don't go into arts professionally, it's just such a valuable skill to know.
Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Justin Keene.
Well, that wraps up our look at some of the stories making news in the tech community. Stick around, there's more ahead.
Coming up, a look at some of the top stories in the New River Valley. Our Newsfeed cohorts Jordan Nichols and Priscilla Durr are standing by in the newsroom, and they will take you through the second half of this newscast. Jordan and Priscilla.
Thanks, Zach. That's right. We will be switching gears, turning our focus to the New River Valley.
Yes, and some of the stories just ahead are an update about vendor changes at a popular farmers market, a gym that advocates the sport of parkour, and a look at one coffee shop's unique hiring practices.
So stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Roll A, take A.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Jordan Nichols.
And I'm Priscilla Durr. In the first half of our newscast, we looked at Virginia Tech stories that are making headlines, and now we turn our attention to news around the New River Valley. The Blacksburg Farmers Market is a popular location every Wednesday and Saturday for those looking to buy fresh and local products.
But now there are changes to who can sell items at the farmers market. Vendors from the surrounding New River Valley area embark upon the Blacksburg Farmers Market to sell all types of goods, from kombucha to flowers. However, as November 2018, all vendors at the farmers market must be producer only. This means all of the goods come straight from the vendors themselves instead of product resale. And while some may think this may discourage new businesses, the Blacksburg Farmers Market director believes the opposite is true.
So we already have two big orchard local growers that are interested. They've been kind of holding out because they didn't want to have to deal with the competition from resale. So now that we're producer only, we're attracting producers, which is what we wanted to do in the first place. So.
Little John says the farmers market enforces this new policy through regular on-site visits from the producer-only committee. This is to ensure that everyone is adhering to the producer-only standard. When consumers aren't looking to the local farmers market to buy what they want and need, they're visiting area stores in the New River Valley. The year 2018 brought big changes to the shopping scene. With the addition of Aldi, Hobby Lobby, and Planet Fitness, the New River Valley is taking steps to modernize the community's shopping options. In November, the NRV Mall gained its most recent addition, Planet Fitness. Joseph Kuhn, the mall's general manager, says new additions help the mall continue its core value of community and multifunctionality.
Anything new that comes in, especially Kirkland's and Ulta, who are not in the market right now, that will definitely be a new draw for people to come and see that.
Kuhn hopes to see more people come to the mall as it continues to improve and add new stores in the spring of 2019. 3 more stores will be opening, including Kirkland's and Ulta, which the mall hopes will increase foot traffic.
As winter creeps into Blacksburg, the community will start to see some obstacles on the Huckleberry Trail.
With snow and ice being inevitable in the area, the Parks and Recreation Department works hard to keep the trail safe for walkers, runners, and bikers. Newsfeed reporter Christina Darty tells us how in this next story.
The Huckleberry Trail is a 7.5-mile long running path that stretches from Blacksburg to Christiansburg. As the winter months approach, the trail requires more maintenance than it does in the summer. The cold weather brings snow and ice that can make it difficult for those who use the trail to do so safely. The trail also cannot be pre-treated like roads can, so the turnaround time for maintenance must be quick. Blacksburg Parks Director Dean Crane explains some of the things park workers have to deal with when it gets cold.
Well, we can get ice that can get very heavy here. We also have some bitter cold that comes in, so if a snow happens, it could stay for a little while. So those are probably the biggest ones that we get. Other than that, we do clear it with a plow, and we try to open it up so the sun can melt it and people can ride again.
It's important that the trails stay cleared for community members to use year-round. Some students rely on the trail in order to get their daily exercise in.
I live right over there on Center Street. When it's all cold in the winter, I don't want to make the long trek to the gym, so I just come right here to Huckleberry Trail.
The Huckleberry Trail stays a popular attraction for the New River Valley year-round, no matter the weather. The hard efforts by local government agencies make it possible for runners and bikers to travel along the trail safely. This is Christina Darty reporting for the Newsfeed.
Parkour is the sport of moving from one place to another in the quickest and most efficient way possible, overcoming any obstacle you encounter using your body. A local gym dedicated to this sport has seen some changes over the past year, and now with a new location, its doors are open to educate the community about the sport. Blue Ridge Motion is a parkour gym that moved from its location in Floyd to an old warehouse in Christiansburg. Owner Elijah Bowen says the idea behind the business is to give the community a space to learn more about parkour and to advocate for parkour as a form of exercise and recreation. One of the things he hopes to accomplish with his gym is to get rid of the public misconceptions of the sport, and he is doing that by hosting monthly community days.
So we started that just a couple of months ago, and it's basically an event where people can come and learn parkour, hang out, play around. Kids can work out their energy or whatever for a couple hours, and it's basically just an opportunity for us to build the parkour community in this area.
Blue Ridge Motion hosts community days the first Monday of most months. Bowen says anyone, young or old, is welcome to learn about parkour. Stay with us, there's more just ahead on this special half-hour edition of the newsfeed.
Coming up, a story about how a restaurant is providing an opportunity for a group of individuals who would otherwise be turned away.
And while there's the convenience of having an artificial pre-lit Christmas tree, we'll take a look at how there's still a demand for the real thing. We'll be right back.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Priscilla Durr.
And I'm Jordan Nichols. A new coffee shop is preparing to open up in Roanoke. However, the staff will probably give customers a more meaningful experience than they would get at their typical Starbucks.
Newsfeed reporter Riley Wyant has more in this next story.
One Roanoke family is taking initiative to provide work opportunities for individuals with special abilities. Chris's Coffee and Custard, started by Beth and Chris Woodrum, is set to open its doors in late March despite going through extreme renovations.
Looking forward to employing different individuals in our coffee shop that were not able to get jobs at other places.
Beth was originally inspired by the idea through her son, Chris, who has Down syndrome.
Started doing work activities and working at different jobs when he was in high school, and I started looking and I thought there's got to be something for our young adults with special abilities out there that we can do and help them.
Chris describes the emotions that he is going to feel when he gets his first customer on opening day.
I've been so excited, happy, and so fun.
It is already very apparent that Chris's Coffee and Custard is not like any typical coffee shop. Not only is Chris's Coffee and Custard going to offer unique opportunities for those with disabilities, but Chris himself wants to focus on the customer experience and make sure that everyone who walks in feels special.
Chris, he was excited. He wanted to have a red carpet out in the front, and he said, "Mom, I want a red carpet where people can walk across and come into our coffee shop and be welcome and give high fives and hugs."
The coffee shop will soon be filled with lattes, laughs, and positivity. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Riley Wyant.
Downtown Blacksburg businesses thrive throughout the year, especially when Virginia Tech semesters are in session. However, how do these businesses stay afloat when there are school breaks and students and faculty leave for weeks at a time? It's no major secret a majority of the foot traffic local businesses receive is from Virginia Tech students, making them the primary customers of most stores in town. With a decrease in students during breaks, businesses must take steps to keep their profits from taking a hit. Michelle Robb, co-owner of Sugar Magnolia and TR Collection, believes it is important to not only appeal to their student audience, but also local community members year-round. Although student business is important, Blacksburg has many loyal, small-town supporters that come out to events to help local businesses in their endeavors with a constant flow of people during the academic year. Some businesses may actually enjoy the quieter months in Blacksburg and in the change in demographic of their customers.
The holiday season is definitely a time when business is booming for store owners. It's a time when many people are focused on shopping and buying gifts. During a holiday season that has its origins in Christianity, churches are finding it hard to deliver their Christmas message. Presbyterian pastor Christopher Hutchinson says he believes the commercialization began around the 1930s at the end of the Depression. In his church, they prefer to separate the commercial, secular Christmas from the sacred.
But they focus on the presents and the family gatherings, which are wonderful. I mean, there's some wonderful things about Christmas. The smells, the food, getting together with family. But there can also be a lot of disappointments.
Though he doesn't get upset at this war on Christmas, Hutchinson says his church combats commercial Christmas by avoiding Santa Claus in his preachings and the idea of labeling children as naughty or nice. Instead, he says he focuses on the story of Jesus' birth, what his life meant to his followers, and his love for everyone. The holiday season is not only about shopping, it also means decorating for Christmas. Idlewood Farms gives its customers the opportunity to uphold a long-standing tradition of decorating a Christmas tree. Newsfeed reporter Remy Cox has more on the history of this local Christmas tree farm.
20 years ago, George Hall and Sharon Morley started growing Christmas trees on their lot as a hobby. They started selling trees in Craig County, but this quickly grew into opening 3 locations in the New River Valley. From North and South Main Street in Blacksburg to a location in Salem, fresh trees were being brought daily to each of these spots during the holiday season. Along with trees, wreaths and other handmade items are sold. After George Hall passed away just 2 years ago, the owners began downsizing their business. Josh Newsom, the lot manager for Idlewood Farms, says there's still a great demand for Christmas trees in the area.
But I do think that we're selling more trees too and selling more items because there's just not as many trees available in the area, and there's not as many people in a small farmer type of way that will come out and sell trees. It's more big box stores that sell them.
While people have made the switch from real Christmas trees to artificial, many people still think it's worth getting the real thing.
The fun of decorating it and everything, and the excitement of going to pick one out rather than taking one just out of a box every year. It's more exciting to get a different, unique one.
Although the farm is down to 1 location, Idlewood is still a place where hundreds of people in the community come to pick out a tree with their family. With up to 6 different kinds of trees to choose from, wreaths to browse, and an outing for the family, this Christmas tree farm might have more to offer than what meets the eye. For the news feed, this is Remy Cox.
Well, it just wouldn't be Christmas without lights. A local man has taken the Christmas lights festivities to a whole new level. Newsfeed reporter Monica Becerra gives us a closer look into DAC Lights and its recent change in venue.
DAC Lights is a festive seasonal light show owned and operated by Radford University graduate David Kinder. Kinder first began setting intricate light shows 10 years ago. The show has taken place at his house in previous years, but it has now moved to Randolph Park in Dublin, Virginia.
For the last 10 years now, I've been doing it on my house over in Dublin. The traffic got a bit extreme. There were a lot of congestion problems, traffic problems. So this year I just decided to move it to a better venue here at Randolph Park in Dublin, where I have virtually unlimited parking and have a lot of room to grow the show for the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Kinder had to build a structure that not only resembled his house, but one that could also withstand the weather for weeks. DAC Lights will be operating every night from 5:30 to 11 p.m. from now until Christmas. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Monica Becerra.
That will wrap up this special edition of the Newsfeed, a look at stories making headlines in the New River Valley and at Virginia Tech.
The Newsfeed will be going on a hiatus for a few months, but we'll be returning in February with a new group of journalists and a new crop of stories to keep you up to date about what's going on with Virginia Tech and the New River Valley area.
While we are away, if you have a story idea, send them our way. You can connect with us on Facebook or Twitter, or send us an email at newsfeednrv@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jordan Nichols.
And I'm Priscilla Durr. From all of us at Newsfeed, we hope you have a safe and enjoyable holiday season.